What is it that scares you the most? Is it losing your job, your family, perhaps facing bankruptcy? Or is it losing what you call your life? What if you knew that you can never lose anything, not even your life? Am I saying death is not real? Exactly. Join us and see if we can stare fear, even the fear of death, in the face and see it for what it really is. Nothing. This is Who Am I?
Who am I?
Who am I?
Who? Our purpose is to awaken.
Who am I?
To awaken to absolute truth.
Am I?
Who am I? Who?
Our purpose is to awaken to absolute truth.
Absolute.
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 Absolute truth.
Our purpose is to awaken. Are they one and the same? Absolute truth. That's our purpose.
Who am I?
So, are you scared? Anyway, for the last few weeks, we have been looking at several topics. And I really want to go deeper and deeper into it, okay? We have been looking at attachments, reactions, and the body. Now, we're starting out today with fear, but I want to see how we can maybe, integrate all of those or somehow or another bring them together. Because, this thing called the body, all right? And everybody, okay, thinks that they are a body, right? Okay? And so this body, it's like, what's the purpose of it? Well, there seems to be many purposes for it, but one purpose of it is that it's always attached to fear, okay? When you have a body and you identify as a body, you basically also identifying as fear. And the ultimate fear we have with the body is what we call death, all right? So there's this attachment. And see, whenever you identify as a body, you're also saying that there's something inside of me that I call me, and then there's a world outside of me that I call an objective world. And so the body essentially says there are limits, all right? There's a limit to what I call myself, and I'm in relationship to something I call not myself, all right? I call that not myself a you, all right, or it, all right? But there is a relationship. There's duality. There's me and something called not me, all right? And I'm dependent on that relationship that is not me. It can be something as tangible as I'm dependent on my car, okay, to get here to the studio today, although, I had a little difficulty with the traffic, something I know y'all know nothing about, okay? But, my car, I say, is outside of me because I define me as a body, all right? And I keep using this body as the reference point for me and the world, all right? But is that true? Is it true that I am a body? And if I am a body, then I'm always afraid because the body is so vulnerable. I could take out AK-47 right now and you would go, don't shoot, Dr. Carter flipped out, okay, or whatever, all right? But it establishes something called fear. Gloria.
Well, it's like, again, I always have to go back to the truth.
Yes.
And trying to start from that false identity of identifying with this body just keeps me in the trap of what we've identified as some of the sources of the human identity is fear and lack. And as long as I'm coming from the circumstance that seems to appear as this body is experiencing, then I get trapped in the fear and the lack and all the emotional stuff. And when I go back to at least words that describe or identify with God's identity, like spirit, love, life, all, then there's like an access for me not to get enmeshed in that false identity.
Yeah. See, yeah, you're right. See, if we start with truth, truth is all. Call it infinity or whatever, all right? And since it's all, it's got to be life. Now, you get to ask a scientist to define life. You go over to Georgia Tech or somewhere and ask some of them PhDs or and whatever, all right? And they would say life, some of them would say it depends upon, whether or not there's carbon or not, all right? But that's something they made up. You can't make up all. All is. That's absolute truth, okay? So all is life. But I think life is in a body. I think that this body that came out of Ruth Carter, my mother, all right, I would say that it has life. And Ruth Carter gave life to me, all right? And then one day that this body, which I identify as because I think I'm a human, that life will go out of this body. Well, where does it go in all? Where can anything go in infinity? Okay? But that's what I think. Once I think I'm a body, then I will have, quote, 10 other bodies, or 8 billion other bodies on this planet. Okay? And I will say they are not me, that there are others. But can God all? I don't like that word God, because everybody's been taught something about it, okay? And you think it's true, and you don't investigate what God is. And the most important question you can ask is, what is God? That's the same thing as asking, who am I? All right? So the thing is, when I look at this, and I say, I am something, a human in a body, then I have fear, as Glory was saying. And the fear is that I lack something, so I got to go get something. What? I got to go get some air. Okay? My body says I need air. Or every few hours, my body says I need what? Food. Or I didn't get enough sleep last night. The body supposedly dominates me. And I'm afraid that I will not get these certain things. It could be something as primal as air, or I'm afraid that my body won't have enough food. Right here.
This is just so wonderful because months ago we were talking about Carol's dream and Reverend Sharon's experience in the surgery room and how they both did not describe themselves as being their bodies. And in Carol's situation, she even separated to the point where she sensed that she was not her mind. So, my question is, if we're not our bodies, and if we're not in fact our minds, well then who are we?
All. Okay? I and the Father are one. You got to get clear on what I is. Okay? Everything is attached to I. And I can't know another I. All right? There's only one I. All right? Do I know another I? No. You're not I. That's a you. Okay? I only know I.
But you don't even know I.
Huh? I am I, but not knowing like in a human sense, subject-object way of knowing, okay? But I know I exist, and that's not like a subject knowing an object, because then there's two, okay? And I cannot know anything other than myself, and it's not knowing like, human thinking is, all right? It's just is. I am, and there's no other. All right? It looks like y'all there are 10 of you right here. And it looks like this is a room in Atlanta, Georgia, and I am in this room. Okay? That's what it looks like. To whom does it look like? It looks like that to Alan, or to a human, a body, somebody. Yeah, but here.
I was doing my normal nerding thing this weekend, reading a lot of stuff. That's what I do. I enjoy doing it. And I read something that pointed to all. It didn't call it all. It called it is.
Okay.
Because it's like the operative statement of all. It's like the,
Yes.
you know, it's more than just, anyhow, it's like the operative statement of all. And the other thing that it pointed out is being is tied to I think, therefore I am. When you start to think, you move from is to being.
No, when you start to think, you move down here. And this is non-being.
Right, right. But you move out of is into being.
Into human.
Being.
Precisely. We're both
Yeah.
saying the same thing.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
I'm not saying that when you start to think, God becomes something other than is. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you move into this other dimension where you start being from all. Because if you look at all, if you have everything, it's nothing. Do you?
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
It collapses into nothing.
Huh? I'm
Because
sorry.
everything is there.
Yeah, well, nothing and everything are the same.
Right.
Yeah, to God, but not to humans. Because humans can't get the idea that everything is the same. We have to have distinctions. We have to have differences. I think that Carol is a female, and I call myself a male, again, based on body. Okay, body identification, okay? And so there's a distinction, female, male, okay? Or inanimate, animate, okay, or something, you know, whatever. But I can't think unless I make differences and differentiations, okay? But can the all make differentiations or differences? Or God, if you want to use that term. And this is why we got a God that we can understand who does make this. He even knows about supposed good and evil, that he's not evil, okay? Even though he supposedly created everything, did he create evil? Well, ask your preacher if he can explain that. But anyway, the point though is, you know, yes, this is all. And what is this? Non-existence.
It's non-existence. It's an illusion because all is all that there is.
Yes.
Right. But you start to distinguish. You start to create illusions about what is and is not real. I mean, I
Right.
hate to use the word is, but I can't.
You
think
can't
of
get
it.
around it.
Right. You start to differentiate, or you start to manifest differences.
Yes.
Right.
As a human.
As a human or another species. If-
Or whatever, yeah. I mean, but
Right.
something that's not all. That's not God. Okay? Yeah, see, no human wants to be God. No human can be God. Okay? But I am God. I am. Now, if you heard I, like I meaning Alan Carter, a human who's identified with a body. Or Jesus. If you hear that Jesus says, I and the Father are one, and you think it's Jesus, then you are mistaken. It's not Jesus. It's the Christ. Christ is invisible presence. Or Buddha. Well, I mean, those are just names. Like Joan calls me Billy. You know, Joan to Joan, I'm Billy. All right? But I'm still the same. Well, now I'm Billy, Dr. Carter, Alan, or some of you might call me, well, we won't go into what some of you may call me, all right? But anyway, like they said, just don't call me late for dinner, okay? But anyway, the point though is, you know, what is the essence, all right? And the essence is this, and life is non-corporeal. God did not breathe life into any dust. That means that there was a God who was limited, and then there was something that was not him, called dust. We always see, that's why we blaspheme every time we talk about God. I don't care who you are. If you are a preacher, a psychologist, or Jesus, you're blaspheming because you can't put the infinite into words. All right? Into concepts. Leonard.
Okay, what I've heard this term used a lot, and I may have used it myself. It's been taught to me from childhood was to think for yourself. My parents used to tell me, think for yourself, don't listen to what other people say. So it sounds to me as if we've gotten our identity from what other people told us what we are. And so we're going to stay in this fear and in this lack, like Gloria said, and we're going to try to come up with intellectual and conceptual terms to describe what the all is. And we're going to always fall short because there's no way to describe it. So we're in this place now, I find when it says think for yourself, that means then I have to think, which means I'm still in human and personal identity stage, where I'm going to try to understand what the self is, which I would call God, which is myself or the I. But I can't describe who or what that is to anyone, only to myself would I know that. Like you said, there are no others. So I guess what I'm really trying to get here at is that when someone hears what we're talking about, it may sound really totally crazy and off the wall. So I guess what I'm saying is that that person who's listening or who wants to listen or wants to learn more is just going to have to take whatever they got and think for themselves. What you used to say, go just reel it in, come back to yourself. Don't look for outside sources to describe or to identify with, because that's never going to be true. Mm-hmm. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree 100% with that. Yeah, this is crazy what we're talking about, y'all. And I'm a psychologist, okay? And I'm supposed to know what's crazy, okay? Although, that's just made up, okay? But yeah, truth is crazy to the human mind. It doesn't make sense to the human mind, all right? Because it's totally outside the realm of conceptualization, of concept formations. And this is what the thinking is, all right? So yes, those masters, let's consider, let's say Jesus and Buddha and Lao Tzu were masters, okay? That they went into this realm and they realized something, okay? And then they had to come back and Jesus had to come back and tell Peter about it, and all of them about it, And, Jesus said, oh God, how am I going to, explain this to Peter? Peter is just a hothead, wants to fish and fight, okay? And how am I going to explain this to Peter? And, he was trying to use parables and all kinds of stuff. And, they still didn't get it. And then they built a religion that they made up around it, okay? Because they couldn't, Jesus was trying his best, but you can't explain this. It's too foreign. How you going to, it's like when Einstein, when they were trying to explain quantum physics to Einstein, Einstein had to reject it because it broke all the laws of physics, of Newtonian physics, okay? In other words, that which you know stands in the way of your really knowing what is. That's why you do have to come to nothing, all right? You do have to realize, and this is just a way of trying to visualize it, that any belief, any thought that I have is an obstacle to what is. Yeah.
But Einstein, he called it spooky.
Well, okay.
Yeah, he came to that conclusion that there was something going on, but it was spooky, and he couldn't explain it.
Yeah. And
so he kind of backed away from it because he couldn't put it up under his microscope.
Because he was. You see, we all have a certain box out of which we operate, okay? Like, I think that I am a man because I think I'm a body, okay? And that's a box. And, it's like I don't question that. Or I think I'm black, or I think I'm a psychologist, whatever, okay? Anything after I am is a lie. If I say I am a psychologist, that's at the level of, yeah, okay. Or I'm a man, yeah, I do not go into the woman's bathroom, okay? That kind of stuff, all right? I don't do stupid things, all right? But, or whatever, yes, I do, quote, be in the world, but not of the world, okay? In the world, yes, I act like a man, and I see Beyonce, I say that's a pretty woman, or whatever, okay? But, that isn't true. Because I am knows nothing but I am. Okay? It cannot know another. All right? But Alan Carter, who thinks, and once he thinks, Alan Carter thinks as a human. And then I got everything that comes with human identity. Yeah, Gloria.
I was reading from Bill Samuels today, and I saw something that he said. I don't know if I'm quoting it exactly right, but it's, can one think without the intellect?
Well,
It's like, I guess you have to, I mean, can one think without the intellect? I mean, is it possible for Gloria to think about God outside of using my intellect?
yeah, but number one, whatever thoughts you have, okay, where did they come from? Okay, you don't believe any of your thoughts. Okay, I don't care if it's a thought about Jesus, Buddha, Allah, or whatever, or 2 + 2 is 4, or whatever. You come to this nothing. And the intellect, I think what Bill Samuels talks about is conceptual thinking that we are hooked into, that we are attached to. I'm attached to my thoughts and my beliefs, okay? And I think my beliefs are true, of course. I'm right about my beliefs. Yeah.
Okay, so does that tie in with, in your introduction, you said you're going to, is fear you said something about fear. We're going to get to that fear is a nothing.
Yeah.
So you're saying that fear, we're coming from this human identity, we're trapped in this concept of what fear is. And so in this inquiry, we're going to get through that concept of fear and get to the nothing.
Well, yeah, it looks like, because we think that we aren't there. Okay, you don't think that you are all. You think that once you think, you will probably think it's Gloria, you know. So, yeah, Jesus supposedly said, perfect love casts out fear. That's in the book that, Grandmama likes, okay? Now, what was he looking at, okay? He was saying that there are two mutually exclusive things. They can't, like light and dark, they can't coexist, all right? All cannot coexist with anything. All, that's why I'm a jealous God. It's not that God is, you're going to find a God older than me, I'm scared. But no, it's just all there is. And doesn't allow for anything else. Gloria.
So it looks like you've got a distinction there of nothing is not the same as all.
Well, that's just something I drew up. It is and it isn't, okay? See, we have to have contradictions, okay, and opposites in human thinking, okay? But we think all is nothing. Actually, nothing is no thing, okay? It means that it has no dimensions, no substance, okay? See, this has, for instance, you ask scientists, okay, they will say, you ask, is dead now, Stephen Hawking, but you've asked him, what did Big Bang come out of? And they said there was something, okay, that's smaller than an atom. That's what Stephen Hawking, came up with. But it had to be a thing, because scientists have to have things. They have to have dimension. They have to be locatable in time and space. And once you get outside of time and space, what you got? You ain't there. All right? Because you think in time and space. Everything that Alan Carter thinks is located in time and space. So what was before Big Bang, they can't imagine it, but they had to stick with their box called science. Yeah, Bahia.
Okay, I'm jumping all over the place. I want to go back to what Carol said. She got to the point where she saw that she wasn't her mind. Did you get to that same point, Reverend Sharon? Mm-hmm. Okay. So why don't you get, why isn't the progression back to the point where you understand that you're not the mind, but you're still there?
Well, who's understanding it?
That's right.
So you got to keep asking, who is this I that says I am?
Well, you said earlier that it's all.
Yes. Now,
So
what's that?
Why isn't the progression back to all?
Who's saying it though?
No, that's not fair. I'm asking you a question. That's not fair.
Okay.
I'm asking you a question. Why isn't the progression back to all?
Well, see, now
You're
notice what,
outside of the mind.
Okay.
And you're outside
Be
of time and
outside of all.
space.
All right,
Because
notice-
there's nothing there but all, right?
But you can never be outside of all.
yeah, the premise of your question is, as Gloria was saying, the premise is that there's a separation from all, that you're trying to get to all. Okay, that's the premise.
No, that's not my premise.
Then what's your
My
premise?
premise is that there's nothing but all, and once the mind falls away, well then that's the only thing that there is.
That's inferring that there needs
There's
to be a
only
mind
thing that there
of all.
can be.
Okay, Herman.
So what I'm understanding is that if there is all, there is no mind.
Right.
The mind
That's
doesn't
right.
exist. So
Right.
there's no progression from mind to all.
Right.
Exactly.
You just have to be aware
Right.
there's only all.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, there is no progression. Progression means that there's something where you got to get to, okay? And you have to hold that for the next show, all right? I just got the signal. I know that's hard, okay? But sit on it for at least 30 minutes, or 50, whatever that we are. But we got to wind this up, cause even though there ain't any time, I just got the signal call, wrap it up, okay? But yes, as Leonard said, this may sound crazy, all right? And it is, all right? But so what? It can open up something for you so that you can consider what is true. What is most important to you? Defending what you believe and think, or maybe opening yourself up to the possibility that you don't know nothing. Then you might be brilliant. Thank you.
Living Truth 365 is proud to support Dr. Alan Carter and the Who Am I television show. Please visit our website at livingtruth365.org to find out more about our services, classes, and community support. We invite you to visit with us and share our journey in truth.
Have you ever had your mind blown? Do you think you know how your mind works?
Let me think.
Do you think your mind can handle real truth?
The truth shall set you free.
Join Dr. Alan Carter for a special workshop entitled Know the Mind, Know Yourself, Saturday, November 3rd.
Free your mind.